Hi, are you African and you live in Africa, but you want to study in the United States of America for free, absolutely free, and you do not know where to start or how to start? Then you want to grab a chair and sit down and join me in this series as I walk you through from the start to finish. Hi, my name is Excellence Anrika Joshua, and welcome back to my channel and welcome to this series. This is the third series in this video where we're talking about mastering the graduate school application process, and this is for Africans that are trying to get into school in the United States. In the previous videos, I've done an introduction to the series, what it's about and what to expect. And also in the video before this, which you might want to watch here, I talked about choosing the right program in school, and it starts there. If you have not watched it, please go and watch it. But if you have already identified the program in school you want to go to, then let's talk about understanding funding opportunities. Now, when it comes to funding opportunities for grad school, there are several funding options that are available. You have the fully funded option, you have scholarships, you have graduate assistantships, you have departmental and external grants, and different things. Now, I'm going to explain what this is. You might be wondering, are they not all scholarships? No, they are not. They are fully funded programs. Fully funded programs are not just scholarships. Fully funded programs tend to cover everything that you need for the program. It kind of is a holistic funding. So basically, you just come study and everything is covered. Now, there are scholarships. You have the Fulbright scholarships, and you have the Mastercard Foundation scholarships, and the rest, and so many others. Now, with scholarships, scholarships can also be fully funded, but scholarships can also just cover your tuition. They may just cover just your tuition. Some may cover your tuition, your living expenses, to a certain percentage, and that's it. But then you sort out your visa, you sort out your transportation, your ticket down here. But there are also some scholarships. Let me explain the one that I got, which is a Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. It covered my visa. It covered my visa. It covered my flight ticket. It covered um I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything. It covered my flight ticket. When I got here, I got stipend. They give me stipend every month. They pay my rents. They gave us a laptop. They give us book allowance. They give us, when I mean laptop, I mean a MacBook Pro. Yeah, the highest, the money, the value they'll give you is like the latest laptop at that time when you come. Um, they give us book allowance, so many other things. Everything actually covered. Everything you need in terms of financials just for you. But the program include, and they also covered my health insurance, like everything. But then they do not support dependents. There are some programs that do support dependents. That is fully funded. It's not just scholarships. So yes, you have those type of offers. Then you also have what we call the graduate assistantship, which can be teaching or research assistantships. With graduate assistantships, you get a job in the school where you're either a teaching assistant or a research assistant. Usually, most of those offers, the school tends to cover your tuition while you work, right? Now, for some of them, beyond covering your tuition while you work, they might also give you some form of stipend. Sometimes they even call it the work study plan. So you have that graduate assistantship. Then you also have some departmental and external grants, which can include fellowships. The departments can give fellowships, they can give some funding. Sometimes it can be full, sometimes it's not. Now, graduate assistantship most times, and some other fundings might not include like health insurance. They will not include your visa. They will not include your ticket or all of those things. It might just be your tuition, and maybe they might give you some stipend. Most times they might not even cover your rent, right? So it's very dicey. So there are different types of funding, and so when you're checking your funding, you want to know what is available. And so the first thing you need to do is know how to identify programs with guaranteed funding. There are some very popular funding opportunities like the MasterCard Foundation scholarships, like the Ford Foundation. I think the Ford Foundation scholarships for MBA, women in MBA or something, and some other ones which are there and quite popular. But then once you identify the school and the program, I told you you want to go and see the financial aid available. First, you go to the program, you see the financial aid available. Sometimes they will direct you to the school, and then some scholarships are program specific, while some scholarships are school specific. So you want to see what it is and you want to understand. Please, anything you're not clear about in the funding, you want to reach out to them, depending who it is. If it says an external funder, you want to go and Google that name and check how to contact them and know what it entails. Maybe on their website you will see something. For example, the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program is partner driven. However, you can still, when you go to the Mastercard Foundation site, you still see some details about them and see the partners there. So identify what funding is there and also how guaranteed is the funding. Some funding will say just for the first year of study, some will say throughout your study, some will say is academic performance based. So you need to know that. Then also, not all funding is for international students. You want to find out what you can also highlight programs that are known for offering funding to international students. Have you had a friend or something that you can start from there? Oh, there's a Mastercard Foundation Scholarship. Okay, what schools do they have? Okay, Berkeley in the US, Berkeley and Arizona. Okay, Arizona, what are the requirements? Berkeley, what are the requirements? Okay, what programs do they fund? Like you can start like that and niche it down. Or hey, I want to do an MBA. What fundings are available and all of that. So you want to do that. For me, I knew that um I wanted to do the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. But to be honest, when I started my application, I didn't even know that it was as holistic as it eventually was. But I just knew it was good. And so I also read and I saw that your program has to recommend you for the scholarship. At this time, I didn't know so much details, but now I'm talking to you in retrospect because there are some programs that I don't think there's been any Mastercard scholar from that program. Maybe there's one or two, or they've not referred for a while. So please, we're going to be talking about preparing your application materials. When you're preparing your application materials, include it somewhere, maybe your conclusion that you want to apply, you would like to be considered for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program, and the Scholars Program website has said the program has to refer me for it. Or you can set up a meeting with the program director of the program you're applying to and explain that this is what you want to do. Is there anything you need to do? I'm going to give you an example. One of the doctoral programs I'm applying for is a professional doctorate, and so it doesn't really have funding, but there are some fellowships. I had to set up a meeting with the program coordinator, and I'm like, this is what I'm looking for. But beyond that, I'm also a single mom. I have opted in the application form that yes, I'll require funding. And in my personal history statement, I've also kind of indicated it, but I want to be sure if I'm missing anything. Is there something I need to add? Is there a clause I need to add for you to really, when my application is being reviewed, to understand? And also, if I'm adding this on my application, I hope it won't count me out if I don't get it. So they'll just say, oh, because you can't afford it, won't even make you the offer, because I'm trying other options too. But I just want to be on the top of mind in case something comes into the program. Do you see that? So that is something you want to do. So you want to understand the funding options and how it works so you know how to apply. Then you also want to look out for people who have gotten that kind of funding before, that you're looking for, and see if you can reach out to them to see how did you go for you, how can I get it. Then from professors, you can also look at the faculty and see the work you're working on. If you see something that is similar to yours, you can reach out to them to see if they have space in their lab for you to come on, or in their working team or something. If you could work with them for possibility, that's, you can do that before you come in. You can also reach out to alumni and find out what are the options of working on campus, how is it easy to get a job on campus, and what's the pay like, so that you can do your math properly. Now, that is it about funding opportunities. However, if you decide to pay your fees yourself, it can be a lot. Even with 70% funding, let me give you an example. My program a year is like, I think about $75,000, if I'm not mistaken, for a year. I think so. That's the funding required. I think so, yeah, for a year. So, if for example, you gave me 80% funding, 80% funding is going to cover $60,000, and then the remaining is going to be $15,000. Trust me, that $15,000 is not easy to raise. It's not easy to raise because even if you say you're working as a student, you cannot work more than 20 hours per week. If you even most time get a job, maybe $18 per hour, and California has the highest minimum wage, which is $18 per hour. But that $18, by the time they remove taxes, maybe you're getting $16. Now $16 per hour, and you say, oh, I want to work the whole 20 hours per week. That is $320 per week. Now that $320 per week, you now say, hey, I want to pay, times it by 4 per month. It's like $1,280. My math is wrong. Please forgive me. Calculate it. It's like $1,280 per month. $1,280 per month, most times is not even enough. Rent here, a single room is about 1,000 something. Sometimes if you get people to share, maybe you might be able to get the least I've seen, which is hard. It's like 800 or 900. Won't you eat? You'll pay health insurance. You eat, you do transportation. It's not easy. Okay, if you say you will not eat, you'll be jumping here and there. Wherever there's pantry or free food, you eat. But then there are other bills you'll pay. You'll pay your phone bill, right? And all of those type of things. So by the time you have that 1,280 per month in 3 months, it's just, I don't think it's up to $5,000, and we're talking about $15,000 deficit. Do you see how it can be really hard? So most people now go to loan. I know of someone who was explaining, she was like, she's doing GSI, that's graduate assistantship, so it's covering her tuition, but then she it's still not enough because she had to pay professional fees and all of that. And she said with the GSI, she still had to take loan extra. And even with the loan, she's still struggling. It's not easy. So getting funding is important. And this brings me to a very good reality. I've talked to you book talk now, like this thing. I want to be very factual with you. Most people are too lazy to write a winning application or a good application that will make them competitive and consider for funding. Most people are also too in a hurry to get into the school that they will not want to sit down and do the work to build their profile to make them eligible and worthy of of the funding. Is the money is a lot. They can't just give you free money. There has to be something in it. And so if your profile is not worth it, they will not take you. You're applying to competitive schools, so there's a lot of competition. So you have to be prepared. You have to work on it. So the question I'm asking you is that would you rather sit down and really take your time and build your profile and put a lot of intentionality and submit a competitive application that you will know that this thing, except this is not what God wants for me, God wants something better, I will get him. Do you want to do that? Or some people, they instead of doing that, they're jumping from one place to another, talking to theory people, applying to 1 million places at the same time. No focus, bland application, no depth into no in-depth thought into it, and you think you're competing with yourself. Trust me, you have people from Asia, those Chinese, those Indians are very smart. They're all over the place. You're competing with them and you're doing smeh. What does that mean? What are you telling yourself? Sorry, I have to be very factual. So I tell people it's a lot of work, but that work you will sit down in preparing a good application or preparing yourself for the application is eventually worth it. I got into UMass 2 years ago, University of Massachusetts in Boston, and they didn't have funding. And I was like, hey, I have digital skills. If I go, I'll find my way. It's not even just a school job. I can build websites. I can this. Oh my God. God loves me too much. He just ignored my stupidity and my pride and just showed me mercy and said, you better stay there. That was how I was getting no's. I didn't know that God was protecting me because he had something better. But I'd always said that God, I want this, but if you have something better, give me better. But this is what I want. But if you have something better. So he answered it. He did not give me what I thought I want, which would have sent leanness to my soul. I would have suffered. Because we're going to be talking about it later when we start talking about visa stuff. It's not easy to get job as you think it is. It is not. It is not that simple, right? So you want to sit down and start building your profile. This application window, let's assume it has gone. Fine. So you now, you have 9 months to 1 year. Start now. Start finding the schools. Start seeing what they're looking for. Sign up for their newsletters. Attend their info session for this year. As if no, you're going to apply for this year, but you know it's next year. That is your target. Does the program require GRE and GMAT? Give yourself 3 to 6 months to sit down and write it and get a winning score. Sometimes they will even write the typical people they admit, that these are the profile of the particular people they admit. Look for people they admit. Go and check their profile to see what they are doing if they put it there. And then identify the gap between who they are and where you are and see how to bridge it. Start doing it now. Sometimes they need experience, they need publication. Start working on a publication, 1 or 2 now, to put it out. Start now, right? Now, PhD programs have better funding, but they're one of the requirements is research experience. So you have to be able to defend that. If you didn't make friends with your professors or your lecturers when you're in undergrad, start making friends with them now. Send them small gifts, call them, check upon them, because you know you will need them for recommendation later, which we'll be talking about later. Start with the end in mind. Create a vision board and put, what are the pieces? Where do I want to go? What are the things I need to start doing now? It might seem like it's far, but it's not far. And trust me, without funding, it's not as easy as it looks. So that is my own about funding. Oh, by the way, if you have identified the right program and school, you have done your application materials, and then you're trying to do funding for this, you're trying to apply for this year, and you want someone to go through it for you and review, I'm going to put a link in my caption and also in the comments, so you can reach out to me and sign up. You can sign up. I have some options to review applications for you if you want me to review it. Now, I need to warn you, I am very thorough and my standard can be really high. That's why I run away from reviewing applications, because I can be very critical, and sometimes it might just be easier than that. But I can be very critical. So if you really want, if you want to work with me, then you really have to be ready to put in the work, like you're ready to really want this. So you can check in the bio and sign up. So please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I'm sharing this tonight before I go to bed. I really thought I was going to do more videos tonight, but I've done 3 tonight. I don't think I can do any more tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to be sharing on preparing your application materials. I'm going to be sharing on how to prepare your application materials. Give me a sec. Let me be sure what else I'm sharing on. Crafting a competitive resume or CV. Resume or CV, because some programs just need a resume or CV. And then I'm going to add a bit about your portfolio there. Then I'm also going to be sharing about letters of recommendation, how to get letters of recommendation start. Then on Thursday, I'll talk about standardized tests like GRE, the use of English and all of that. And then I'm going to talk about the application process, some step-by-step guide on how to apply, and talk about application fee waivers and all of those things. And I'm also going to talk about interview preparation for those programs that might require interview. Then on Friday, I'm going to talk about, after you apply, what is next, the visa process, the different types of visa you can get and what the limitations are and what it's like. And then I'm going to talk about, when you get here, adjusting to life in the US and thriving, not just living, but also thriving as a graduate student. But then next week, I have scheduled some interviews with some students to talk about their journey, real life experiences, and how they got admitted and funded for graduate school. And so when I do the recording next week, I try to churn them out as much as possible. That's why my videos have little to no edits on them, because I'm quick to put them out. So I hope this helps and you find value in them. Remember to like, comment, and share, and subscribe to my channel. Share to those who will find this helpful. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.